In this segment, I would like to discuss the importance of good deeds and sharing in a Christian's life. One of the primary ways we glorify God is through our worship of Him. Throughout the Bible, God has demanded sacrifices in the worship of Him. That is also true in the New Testament. As Christians, we do not offer animal sacrifices, as did those in the Old Testament, but as Peter states in 1 Peter 2 and verse 5, we are a holy priesthood, that is to offer spiritual sacrifices, acceptable to God through Jesus Christ. There are many sacrifices we can offer as Christians. In fact, the Apostle Paul tells us in Romans 12 and verse 1 that you present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable to God, which is your reasonable service, or spiritual act of worship. From this passage and others, we learn that we offer our bodies as living sacrifices by living a life that is Christ-like. One example of that is given to us in Hebrews the 13th chapter and verse 15. It states, "Therefore, by Him, let us continually offer the sacrifice of praise to God, that is, the fruit of our lips, giving thanks to His name. But do not forget to do good and to share, for with such sacrifices God is well pleased." We find from verse 16 that God is pleased when His children sacrifice their time and energy to do good for others, or sacrifice their money to share with others. God is not just pleased by this, but He is well pleased. By recognizing the analogy between doing good and sacrifice, we not only see the importance, but the necessity of it. Imagine a Jew living in Jerusalem over 2,000 years ago. If they did not offer the sacrifices required by the law, would other Jews, let alone God, consider them to be a Jew, a son of Abraham? Of course not. It is just as ludicrous to think one could be a Christian, a follower of Jesus Christ, and not offer the sacrifices of doing good and sharing with others. It is just as much a necessity of Christianity as the sacrifice of the Passover lamb was to the Jew. Unfortunately, it seems that many Christians see good works and sharing as a good thing to do, but not necessarily a necessity. It is not that good deeds are required as much as they are a natural outcome of faith. In James, the 2nd chapter, verse 14, he says, "What does it profit, my brethren, if someone says he has faith but does not have works? Can faith save him? If a brother or sister is naked and destitute of daily food, and one of you says to them, 'Depart in peace, be warmed and filled,' but you do not give them the things which are needed for the body, what does it profit? Thus also, faith by itself, if it does not have good works, is dead." We often pray for forgiveness of the sins, those bad things that we do. However, there is also sins of omission, or the failure to do what is right in God's eyes when given the opportunity. These sins are just as great. The failure of Christians to do good works when given the opportunity is possibly the most common of sin. Sacrificing our time, talents, and money to help others is how we show God's love to others. By this display of love, Christ says in John the 13th chapter and verse 35, "All men will know that you are my disciples." The next time you help an elderly neighbor with yard work, take food to a family with a sick parent, give money to a person struggling in life, or even just sit and talk with a lonely person, you are offering a spiritual sacrifice to God. The next time you sacrifice getting your own work done in order to help your coworker with their problem, you are offering a spiritual sacrifice to God. It also applies with our own families. When a husband sacrifices watching TV to help his wife clean the house, or the wife treats her husband with respect and kindness rather than harshness when she disagrees with him, or when a parent takes the time to calmly teach their children a lesson in life rather than angrily scolding them, they are offering a spiritual sacrifice to God. Every time we treat others with love and respect, or return goodness and kindness to those that are hateful and evil to us, we are offering a spiritual sacrifice to God. In all of these cases, we sacrifice our own selfish desires for the good of others. By doing this, we glorify God by exhibiting His love through us. This is what God created us to do. Ephesians, the 2nd chapter, and verse 10 says, "For we are His workmanship, created in Christ Jesus for good works, which God prepared beforehand that we should walk in them."